Narrow Streets by Brian Grieveson. Dedicated to my father. Introduction. The poems in this booklet were written in 1965 to 1966. The poems in this booklet were written in 1965 to 1966. Many were recited at public readings at the Black Swan Coffee House in Hamilton, Ontario, and the Granville Street Trotskyite Hall in Vancouver, BC. Many of the poems were published individually in such periodicals as Fate, Scan, New Society, and Saturday. The first edition of 300 copies was published clandestinely on Westinghouse Presses in Hamilton, Ontario in 1969. It was the first publication of Chertsey Press, and it suffered from rudimentary workmanship. Despite its technical faults, it was distributed in Toronto, Montreal, and Vancouver, and sold out within the year. The second edition was also limited to 300 copies and was published in 1978. This is the third edition, which you hold in your hands. I admit it is being published out of unabashed sentimentality. The poems within were written in my late teens. Looking back from the ripe old age of 45, the poems seem to express the intensity, ravished innocence, and naivety of youth. They are of interest primarily as relics of a pre-psychedelic age. The coffee house brings back many memories of friends and the issues of the Beat era. The execution was written before the abolishment of capital punishment. The apparition in Hiroshima illustrate the socialist and pacifist philosophy which formed the backbone of the Ban the Bomb movement. The style of poetry was strongly influenced by Jacques Prévert and Raymond Schuster. The second edition is vastly improved by the accompanying illustrations, which were taken freely in the spirit of the Underground Press Syndicate. Many thanks to the artists who have unknowingly contributed their work. The Magic Trick. 9 broken promises, 8 busted dreams, 7 shattered illusions, 6 bitter thoughts, 5 harsh words, 4 angry scenes, 3 foolish threats, 2 hardened hearts, 1 empty bed, and no more love. Visit to Barbara. Up York Street, whistling Dixie, with a $20 bill in my pocket, and car headlights wink knowingly as between friends, and store mannequins smile lecherously from their glass cages, and the corner stoplight turns green with envy. The playground. Standing on the corner watching the school children at recess, bouncing a tennis ball against the bricks, playing hopscotch on the pavement, trading baseball cards in the corner, skipping rope in the driveway, playing tag around the steps, and eating lunch while on the swings, lost in their world of childhood innocence, where war is in comic books, and guns are given at Christmas, and hate is a 10-minute tantrum, and despair is losing 2 games of marbles in a row. The Gulf. Election campaign, politician on the platform, plump, pompous, prosperous, loudspeakers, balloons, ribbons, grins happily, you've never had it so good. 1 hungry-looking child with a broken doll, 1 employed man with empty pockets, 1 unshaven bum with a bottle of paint cleaner, 1 dying man with an empty house, 1 hysterical girl who slashed her wrists, 1 condemned man pacing his prison cell, politician on the platform, dashing a smile, diamond cufflinks sparkling in the sun. The pub. Layers of acrid smoke, yellowish glow of lights, a dozen trays of beer, deafening noise, laughing, cursing, crying, 4 old soldiers playing cards, 1 old man asleep in the corner, and a drunken musician pounding a piano, playing Lily Marlene, with tears in his eyes. First love. Her hair long and brown, her eyes tender and loving, her lips moist and soft, her breasts young and firm, her belly warm and supple, her legs parted and yearning, and my hand trembled as I knelt beside her as she lay there on my bed. The angry young man. Maybe I'll go to the art gallery and look at the nudes. When I was a kid, I used to save orange peels. I'm grown up now. I save empty wine bottles. Hey, is anybody listening? I said, is anybody listening? Maybe I will go to the art gallery and look at the nudes. Central Police Station. Snowing outside, a policeman inside, at his desk, filling out forms, so many forms. Joyriding in a stolen car, age 15, to be tried at juvenile court March 17th. Copies in duplicate, copies in triplicate. The policeman is tired, lights up a cigarette, sips at his coffee, and offers a cup to the boy, sitting on the bench, staring at the floor, who refuses, partly bewildered, partly belligerent, mostly frightened. Hands number 9. The clutching hand of a child at her mother's sleeve, the gentle hand of a young boy fondling his puppy, the drunkard's hand grasping tightly a half-filled glass, the tender hand caressing a young girl's breast, the swollen hand of a boxer lying in the sawdust, the rough hand of a butcher scaling fish, the smudged hand of the shoeblack shining shoes, the sweating hand of the chubby hooer in bed, and another hand holding the pen. The blank canvas. The canvas, the attic, the smock, the palette, the brushes, the paint, and the pipe clenched between his teeth. The small table, the nude model, the stale cheese, all very arty, all very ethnic, but the cheese remains on the table, and the nude remains on the stool, and the brushes remain in his hand, and the canvas remains blank. The mad artist. He picked up a brush and drew a bird, a free bird, a singing bird, a happy bird, a live bird, yet something was wrong, and he wasn't sure what. So he picked up a knife and slashed at the bird, an imprisoned bird, a silent bird, a sad bird, a dead bird, and stared at the painting, and swallowed the knife, for he had killed the bird of his soul. The pensioners. The old men on the benches in Gore Park in the sunshine, reading the newspapers, reading the want ads, watching the pigeons, watching the street. They saw the bankers, the clerks, the accountants, the reporters, the policemen, the bus drivers. They saw them, the employed. But they just sat there, watching the pigeons and reading the want ads and staring at the ground.